packed class. So this is a session that I have designed specifically just for the people who are within the community. And therefore, we are not going to share it out to the public. Even the meeting, we are not going to share it to the public. It is essentially for the people who are already in the community. So allow me to share this short video that I have for you here. So let me get to share it right away. Okay, I'm going to share this. So I'm going to share this.
Is Global Mapper right for you? Let's take a look at Global Mapper's top 10 features and find out now. Number 1. Built-in online data access and extensive file format support. Global Mapper offers an extensive collection of online data sources that can be downloaded or streamed, and it also provides support for over 300 different file formats. Number 2. Terrain analysis and 3D data processing. Global Mapper's analysis functions include viewshed and line-of-sight modeling, watershed delineation, volume measurement with cut and fill optimization, and customized gridding and terrain creation, contour generation, and much, much more. Number 3. Advanced point cloud and LiDAR processing capabilities. The LiDAR module is an optional add-on to Global Mapper that provides advanced point cloud processing tools, including pixels to points for photogrammetric point cloud creation from overlapping images from drones or UAVs. It also includes automatic point cloud classification, feature extraction, terrain hydro flattening, and much, much more. Number 4. Data sharing and map publishing tools. When the time comes to share map data, Global Mapper offers numerous options, including eye-catching page layout and printing tools, geospatial PDF creation, and direct web publishing to Mango Map, an affordable and easy-to-use online map service. Global Mapper also offers advanced page design and layout tools, including multi-page mapbook creation. Number 5. Scripting and batch processing. Global Mapper users can automate the most routine data processing functions using simple, text-based scripts or the built-in batch processing tool. The scripting language is simple and intuitive with a straightforward command and parameter structure, mirroring many of the multi-step procedures that can be performed within the interface. Number 6. Advanced image processing. Global Mapper includes a powerful set of tools for processing imagery or raster layers. The image rectification tool allows any image to be positioned, scaled, aligned, and spatially distorted to create a geographically accurate raster layer. The powerful vector extraction tool can be used to create polygons from a range of color in a raster layer. Image tiling, mosaicing, blending, cropping, feathering, and visual manipulation options provide the means to adjust the display and characteristics of any raster data layer. Number 7. Feature label creation and management. Professionals working in cartography say that the format and layout of a well-designed map always needs some level of human input. Vector labels in Global Mapper can be assigned to their own layers, which makes formatting, moving, rotating, and deleting individual labels much easier. Number 8. Digitizing and vector editing tools. When it comes to creating or modifying vector data, Global Mapper's Digitizer provides a vast array of functions. From simple point, line, and polygon creation to Kogo for manual geometric input, the Digitizer has all of the tools you need to create and manage vector layers. Number 9. The ability to record a fly-through path using the fly mode and walk mode in the 3D viewer. Global Mapper is not only able to record fly-through videos, but it also allows users to draw a fly-through path by recording their movements in fly mode and walk mode in the 3D viewer. Since the fly-through feature in Global Mapper is an easy way to create videos of 3D data and terrain, it's commonly used for real estate and property management, planning drone or UAV flight paths, or simply creating a compelling presentation of your GIS data to stakeholders. Number 10, a free mobile version. Global Mapper Mobile is a free app for iOS and Android devices that offers field viewing and data collection. It displays any supported data from the desktop software, streamlines data collection, and efficiently transfers data onto the desktop software. A professional-grade application is also available for purchase from the Apple App and Google Play stores. There's so much more to Global Mapper than just the top 10 features. If this video piqued your interest, please visit us.
Thank you everyone who has been able to join us. For the 27 of us who are here, you're most welcome to today's session. Today's session, we are going to just do an introductory to Global Mapper. And this session is essentially for the people in our community. So we want to explore this together, and we are not sharing it outside the community. So this is a free session that is open to all of you, and I hope that you'll be able to make good use of it. I also encourage you not to be anxious, because I know this is a new concept for many of us. And of course, a new concept comes with a lot of anxiety. Therefore, I want you guys to stay calm, to stay grounded, and then we'll be able to take you through the program together. So, once again, we said that we need to be calm and composed professionals. And then again, don't think of it like it's something that is coming today and going. So, I will have to take you through the course for free, just as a value for you people for being so kind with us, and also for trusting in us and joining the community. So the world is moving to an aspect where we need to leverage GIS data. We need to do visualization. We need to extract the different types of data. It is important for engineers also to know how to work with different data from different sources, and also to extract data from the different sources. So that's why I saw it wise to give you guys an introductory, uh, just an introductory crash course that is going at least to give you a perspective of how to be able to use the software. And then we can also be able to do an advanced one. And of course, we are going to relate this because I believe that most of you have been able to go through the design of the YETA project. So we are going to see how can we be able to connect global mapper. How can we be able to extract terrain for that specific project? How can we be able to do the catchment analysis for that very same project? So everything is intertwined into one. And I will also be able to give you guys something that you can be able to work on at your own time. So if you're joining us for the first time, for those of us who are also going to start the new course, that is starting on November. You don't have to worry. When I talk about a YETA project, don't worry. I also have some other form of data that I've been able to use that we'll be using for this learning. But then for the people who have already been able to do our course, they can be able to leverage the previous design project now and see how we'll be able to integrate it in this workflow. So thank you very much for first of all attending this one. I know this is a session that I gave a short notice because also it was within our community. But I am glad to see a good percentage of us here with us. So I will just get to play the same video that we had previously so that everyone can be able to have probably a grasp of what this new software that we're introducing is all about. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to play this one more time.
Is Global Mapper right for you? Let's take a look at Global Mapper's top 10 features and find out now. Number 1. Built-in online data access and extensive file format support. Global Mapper offers an extensive collection of online data sources that can be downloaded or streamed, and it also provides support for over 300 different file formats. Number 2. Terrain analysis and 3D data processing. Global Mapper's analysis functions include viewshed and line-of-sight modeling, watershed delineation, volume measurement with cut and fill optimization, and customized gridding and terrain creation, contour generation, and much, much more. Number 3. Advanced point cloud and LiDAR processing capabilities. The LiDAR module is an optional add-on to Global Mapper that provides advanced point cloud processing tools, including pixels to points for photogrammetric point cloud creation from overlapping images from drones or UAVs. It also includes automatic point cloud classification, feature extraction, terrain hydroflattening, and much, much more. Number 4. Data sharing and map publishing tools. When the time comes to share map data, Global Mapper offers numerous options, including eye-catching page layout and printing tools, geospatial PDF creation, and direct web publishing to Mango Map, an affordable and easy-to-use online map service. Global Mapper also offers advanced page design and layout tools, including multi-page mapbook creation. Number 5. Scripting and batch processing. Global Mapper users can automate the most routine data processing functions using simple, text-based scripts or the built-in batch processing tool. The scripting language is simple and intuitive with a straightforward command and parameter structure mirroring many of the multi-step procedures that can be performed within the interface. Number 6. Advanced image processing. Global Mapper includes a powerful set of tools for processing imagery or raster layers. The image rectification tool allows any image to be positioned, scaled, aligned, and spatially distorted to create a geographically accurate raster layer. The powerful vector extraction tool can be used to create polygons from a range of color in a raster layer. Image tiling, mosaicing, blending, cropping, feathering, and visual manipulation options provide the means to adjust the display and characteristics of any raster data layer. Number 7. Feature label creation and management. Professionals working in cartography say that the format and layout of a well-designed map always needs some level of human input. Vector labels in Global Mapper can be assigned to their own layers, which makes formatting, moving, rotating, and deleting individual labels much easier. Number 8. Digitizing and vector editing tools. When it comes to creating or modifying vector data, Global Mapper's Digitizer provides a vast array of functions. From simple point, line, and polygon creation to Kogo for manual geometric input, the Digitizer has all of the tools you need to create and manage vector layers. Number 9. The ability to record a fly-through path using the fly mode and walk mode in the 3D viewer. Global Mapper is not only able to record fly-through videos, but it also allows users to draw a fly-through path by recording their movements in fly mode and walk mode in the 3D viewer. Since the fly-through feature in Global Mapper is an easy way to create videos of 3D data and terrain, it's commonly used for real estate and property management, planning drone or UAV flight paths, or simply creating a compelling presentation of your GIS data to stakeholders. Number 10. A free mobile version. Global Mapper Mobile is a free app for iOS and Android devices that offers field viewing and data collection. It displays any supported data from the desktop software, streamlines data collection, and efficiently transfers data onto the desktop software. A professional-grade application is also available for purchase from the Apple App and Google Play stores. There's so much more to Global Mapper than just the top 10 features. If this video piqued your interest, please visit us at bluemarblegeo.com to learn more about Global Mapper.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for taking your time to watch. We are going to do that as well to create an DTM in Global Mapper, but you don't have to worry about that at the moment. So let me get to connect with a few of you guys. I tend to believe most of us who are joining here, there are people that you've been able to connect with previously. So I'm seeing Sandra Mora, I'm seeing Salim, I'm seeing Tinashe, I'm seeing Alex, I'm seeing Benjamin, I'm seeing Hillary. How are you doing, guys? Say hi to us. Foyo, how are you doing? Say hi to us. It's our day to connect. This is easy and freestyle. Somebody wanna say hi?
Yes. Hello guys, my name is
Yes.
Alex Ndeke, and I'm happy to be in the Roads Up community. Thank you.
All right. That's great to meet you, Alex. Thank you. So you guys, after you finished the course, you became cowards. You don't want to speak. Oh, interesting. Right. Let's see. Who is ready?
Good evening.
Yes, Dennis.
I'm Changa Dennis. I'm happy to join you again. This training, we learned a lot during 3D training, and we appreciate also for your time for injecting some knowledge in us. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dennis. It's good to connect with you again, gentlemen, and thank you for the kind ones as well. Let's get to hear who else is ready to speak to us.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
I'm Marilyn,
Marilyn.
a member of cohort 7. So far, it has been a wonderful experience. The group is just on another level, and it's nice. It's nice.
All right. Thank you, Marilyn. I can hear you're so in love with your deep cube. You just forgot the whole cohort. God deceive
Yes.
me. All right. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. Let's hear from one more person. I want to know about the guys who are joining the new cohort, the November cohort. I want to hear from you as well. And probably what are your expectations? Remember, you don't need permission to speak, just unmute and speak. This is your community. Okay. I normally don't like asking people twice, so I will proceed with probably what I had prepared for you guys. If people are not in a position to share, is Swale, are you here? You're telling me you're not in the group. What is happening? Huh? How is that? Gatimu, please take care of this gentleman, Tony. How come I don't have your number here? Blasius. Blasius, are you here with us? Anyway, no problem. I think you will be taken care of. I wanted to talk about something. For you, thank you very much for texting here. Yes, I'm doing great, gentlemen. It's always good to hear from you. And I want to go straight to what we have in this program, and I want to take you through probably what I have in store for you just for this session, probably. And then once we do the entire thing, I am going also to share that with you. So what I'm simply saying is I'm going to share with you the entire program for the entire course. Ideally, I want to do these in just about 3 sessions so that we can be able to go through the entire session or the entire introductory course. So please, if you can be able to see my screen, just drop a 1 in the chat box. That has always been our culture. If you can be able to see my screen, just drop a 1. Super. Thank you very much. So this program is just something that I decided to add value to you people for your commitment and for your desire to learn. So I've been thinking about what can I be able to do to you amazing people? What can I be able to do to you people that are already in the community? And yeah, I decided to do this course and also to add value to the people who are joining the new cohort. And in essence, is I decided to combine 2 softwares, that is the Global Mapper and then the AutoCAD. So I'll be taking lead in taking you through Global Mapper, and in taking you through Global Mapper, I'm going to go into details of what Global Mapper is and what this course is all about. But then again, we also have the AutoCAD refresher. And what I'm doing is we were getting a lot of feedback from people who already completed the course, that they thought we were not taking sufficient time to go through 2D drafting, and they thought it was distracting from raw design. So in that respect, we decided to introduce the 2D drafting as just a course that will be done by people who are joining the program in advance as they wait. The second thing that we've been able to change is we previously used to do the recruitment in 2 weeks, and that meant that most of the participants were not ready, or most of the engineers were caught by this by surprise and therefore could not be able to join the program. Therefore, in that respect, we decided to prolong the recruitment, and within the prolonged period, then it means that we can be able to focus on a skill 1 or 2 before the actual Civil 3D course starts. So ideally, what this means is we are rewarding people who get to join the program early in advance, so they can be learning as also they wait for the actual Civil 3D course to be able to start. And again, to you people, you have been referring a lot of people, and we would pray that you proceed to be blessed. And also you get to grow in different spaces, and also the skills that you've been able to gain from this community may be able to open doors for you. That is always my prayer. That is always my commitment. And I hope that everything that you're going to learn here impacts your career in different ways. So ideally, this course is going to be, we are going to do it in 3 weeks. And the first week is Introduction to Global Mapper Functionalities. And when it comes to the Global Mapper Functionalities, that is basically what we've been able to watch in the just concluded video. And it has been compressed into just 10 functionalities. For example, we can be able to do terrain analysis, 3 data processing. We can be able to estimate the quantities, that is the cut and fill in different sections. We can be able to do advanced point cloud data. This one is also something that I'm working on, so that we can be able to work with Autodesk Cloud. Now that we have all the licenses, we can be able to give you guys access to Autodesk Cloud. So the moment we go to that level now, that is when you'll be able to understand the relationship between the point cloud data and leader processing. Then we'll also be talking about data sharing and map publishing. I think that is also a very powerful tool that we have in Global Mapper. So these are also some of the functionalities that ArcGIS and QGIS can be able to do. And I decided to start with you guys from, I always want to break it down so that we start from the small things that are able to be understood, and then we get to advance slowly by slowly. And then there is also the ability to automate the different commands that you're able to do in Global Mapper. There is also advanced image processing. So you have those images from drone. You have images, raster images. How can you be able to process them and then convert them into data that can be used for design? And then, of course, we are talking about digitizing and vector data edit tools. This is where we convert also vector data to some contours and such information. And then there is also the ability to be able to read. And I know this is one of the most interesting aspects that excites a lot of people, being able to record a fly-through path using the fly mode. So, for example, after we get to design, for example, the Yata design project, so you can be able to record a fly-through within that area. If we are also doing modeling for an urban development, you can be able to record. Actually, you can be able even to record a fly-through around your city. And I know that is an amazing feature that we can be able to do also in this project. I know all of these ones look cool and they sound really cool. But before we get to do that, we need to look at what is I call it the ultimate interface tour. What, if you go for a workshop, I think I was telling you guys a story of how I used to go to my father's when my father sent me to one of his local tool houses or store just back at home. And it can be as simple as being sent to get a nail or a spanner. And that one can take you too long if you are actually not familiar with how the interface looks like. So that is why I always start my courses with the ultimate interface tour so that we make sure at least we are able to understand what the interface looks like, so that when I will be training you guys, it will be easy. When I tell you go to the digitizer, it will be easy for you to go to the digitizer. When I tell you we are taking measurements, it will be easy for you. When I tell you we are doing slope analysis, you can be able to know where to be able to connect, where to actually get that specific tool. We'll also be talking about zone configuration and settings. And this is the most fundamental and important point when it comes to GIS, when it comes to accurate design. And when we are talking about accurate design, let me just turn off. Oh, okay. I hope you guys can be able to hear me. Super. All right. Let me turn off my camera so that I don't get you guys distracted. I was talking about a zone configuration and settings. And this is the most important aspect for those of us who we've been able to design. If you want to visualize your project, if you want to import data if you want to import contours, if you want to import open map street, if you want to import different types of data, it means you need to configure the software so that it can be able to pick that exact location. It is the same thing that we do with georeferencing. So we'll also be talking about that right away. And then when we talk about settings, it is about how can you be able to display these data? What are your preferred settings and such? And then after that, we'll also go to importing data and managing the workspace. So in essence, it's there are different sources of data. You may be having, for example, we have design that we have in Civil 3D. You can be able to import that design from Civil 3D and bring it to Global Mapper. And again, you can be able to export data from Global Mapper and take it to Civil 3D. Same thing, you can be able to extract data from Civil 3D and then take it to ArcGIS and take it also to QGIS in terms of a shapefile and whatever file that you need to have. So that is also very important for us to be able to understand. And then, of course, managing the workspace. How do you work around with the workspace so that it is easy for you also to execute the different tasks that you want to do? And then after that, we'll be talking about using the Digitizer tools. And this is where now we start working. After now, you get to import data. What do you want to do with these tools? And then after that, we'll be able to do a project milestone. And in project milestone, of course, in my programs, you need to do, we say that it is the first. F for forget, that is starting with a beginner's mindset. And then A is for being actively involved. So it means you need to be actively involved in design, actively involved in creation, actively involved in practicing. And that is why we have the deliberate practice we have the project milestone, or what we call the deliverables. And then after that, you can be able to practice on them on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday. And then on Friday again, you can be able to join our captain, Gatimu, who will be taking us about detailing now. He'll be taking us through AutoCAD. How do we now do detailing? And in detailing, we can do detailing for a box culvert, detailing for a bridge, detailing for whatever kind of work you need to do. So we are setting the foundations for you to be able to prosper. That is what we were doing for you here. And what this requires is you to remove the arrogance of thinking that you already know, the arrogance of thinking that this is too basic for me, the arrogance of just logging in and then just doing your own stuff. Because I know a lot of people get to do that. So if you want to become the ultimate engineer, the engineer who goes above and beyond, the engineer who delivers results, you must be able to be ruthlessly focused into this task. So what we'll be doing is I will be doing these sessions with you on Monday, and then I give you the whole week to work on it, because I know this is not like a course that I'm pushing you through. And then over the week, I'll be doing the short recordings just like the one that I do for Civil 3D. And then I will be sending them in different groups. And I hope that all of us I know most of us are in our Telegram groups. So we'll be sharing this. Gatimu, please, we'll be sharing this information in the highway design enthusiast channel. I think so that every one of us can be able to access them. That is where I will be sharing the short videos that are going to help you implement the different tools that we have. And then after that, I am going also to provide these recordings. And in providing these recordings, I'm going to compile them and post them on our website, so that at any point and at any point you would want to probably refer to them, you can just go there and be able to access the recordings. The idea is to give you value, to keep equipping you. And this is my joy. My joy is to see you guys evolve, is to see you learn, it's to see you grow, it's to see you apply these lessons in your different workspaces. And that is what brings satisfaction and fulfillment to us. And the only thing that you can be able to do is, as we are offering this time to you people, as we take time to do research and bring this to you, bring more people to our communities, bring more people to be trained. If we train 100 engineers, it means we are having almost, if these guys get to teach another 100, we are having, like currently we have already trained almost 1,000. If another 1,000 comes to us, that is how the whole of Africa is advancing. That is how the world is becoming better. That is how we are creating a better world for ourselves and also for people who come before us. And that is what engineers do. We are where we are today because there is someone who took time to learn, to share knowledge, to improve fellow men. This is my vision. This is my desire. This is my commitment. And this is what the captains have come here to help us do. And the only thing you can do for us is to help us reach more people and more people and more people and more people and more people. That is what we do. And thank you very much. Now, let me go straight now into introducing the Global Mapper software, so that we can, I don't know whether I shared my screen, but let me just drop that, so that I can go straight into this. Yep. So this is the global mapper software. Let me just even get to. So I hope you can be able to see my home screen. So of course the Ronsab logo is always here to remind me that I have you guys waiting for me so that I can be able to serve you and make you better. So once the global mapper software has been installed, and I know you people, most of you have probably been able to access the free trial version. And then, of course, if you need any assistance, you can always get to reach out to Captain Wes. He is our technician, he is our tech guy, so he will get you sorted. That is in case you don't have it. So for you to open it, just go to the shortcut on your screen and then double click and get to open the software. So I'm going to take you, this introductory course is designed to provide novice users, that is basically beginners of Global Mapper, with the information and expertise necessary to use the software to its full potential. So the idea is I'm opening you up so that you can be able to start and go on your own. So I am setting you up for success rather. And we'll be covering the different aspects of the application. That is the interface, of course, as the first point, importing data. And then after that, we'll go all the way also to printing the different maps that we have. Also, I'll be able to provide you with data, that is design data that you can be able to use for this case. So let me actually do that right away. I go to my whatever. Let me see whether it's here, Global Mapper. I'll share this with you guys. I hope you guys are not also going to misuse the data. Let me get to make you editors. So this is basically for you guys to be able to use it for design. There you go. You have it. So that is the link for the data, design data that we'll be using. That is just some generic data that we'll be using for explanation. And then as we dive into this, I'll be getting to the specifics of showing how you can be able to extract your own real data. The structure, of course, as I earlier said, I will be doing the lectures here with you. And then once I get to do the lectures, I can be able now to take you directly into doing the short videos. So let me go back to the interface. Please let me know whether you can be able to see the global mapper. Someone can just unmute and tell me. Can you be able to see that, my guys?
Yes, it is seen.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So in this one, I'm going to take you through the most basic and the most important aspects of this software. And number one is why are we doing this? We said it is because we want to be able to efficiently and effectively use the software. So the first thing that we'll be covering today is the overall layout. And when you open the global mapper, this is the overall layout. Like this is the layout that you will find. This is the default layout, just like the one that we have in Civil 3D. So my work today, the objective is to help you understand the toolbar and the menu structure, and then you will be able to feel comfortable and familiar with the different tools that you need to use the software with. My goal, understand the toolbar and the menu structure, and then after that, you'll be feeling comfortable with this one. So the first thing that you need to look at is, this is just a normal Windows screen for those of us who have used Windows. So this is just a normal Windows screen. And in a Windows screen, it means we have the menu, and then after the menus, where we have the well-organized access to full software capabilities. So this is the menu where we have the file, and you can be able to see the different functionalities that you can be able to do with these files. So for example, if you look at the file, you can be able to open data. You can be able to open the different data. So guys, I'm genuinely sorry. I had promised someone to do something for them, and I can see they are actually calling me. I'm really sorry, but please allow me to just do what I promised them. I think there was a file that I was supposed to send them for some work that we are working on, and I kind of forgot about it. I'm really sorry for interrupting your session. Just please allow me. I had already prepared it. And I think I was in another meeting and forgot to share. Hello, engineer, please find attached. Thank you. All right, done. Super. Thank you. So the menu, we have file, edit, view, tools, digitizer, LiDAR, raster analysis, terrain analysis, and all of this. So the first one, when we have, the second thing that we have is the toolbars. So these icons that you're seeing here, for example, this is a toolbar and that can be moved. And for you to know what this toolbar represents, so for example, let us look at the first one. There is some drop-down icons here for toolbar options. Click on them and then click on this other one. So we can be able to know these are the selection tools. And this selection, it means we can be able to draw a polygon, clear current selection, or select labels. So ideally what this means is if you wanted to select something, you need to use this toolbar. And then the second one is probably the other one is this one. You can be able to explore. And the first one is the file toolbar. So ideally, what the toolbar does is it gives a summary of the most important functionalities of the menu, if that is put in an easier way. So for example, if you go to the menu file, you can be able to see open file, download online, save workspace, and then you can see, for example, some recent data. If Abraham Nyanja is here, I was using your design. And if you look at this one, it's the open file, connect to online, save as, and then there's configure data. So that is ideally what these the small toolbars mean. And then the toolbars are not cast on stone again. You can be able to move them and put them or arrange them in whatever order that you want. And as you grow in this software, you will be able to know which tools do you need and which ones do you don't need. So it will be easy for you also to organize the workspace. So you can be able to see that I am able to move these toolbars to my preferred area. So it will be easy for you to arrange them according to what you would want or what you find convenient for you. Then let us go to the workspace. In the workspace, this is where we will always be greeted by the global mapper, whatever, logo. And in this logo, on top of it also, at the top left of the screen, you will have the global mapper version that you'll be using. I know they have the version 26, but I don't have that. I only have version 25. So once you have the Global Mapper Pro version that you have, the first thing that you have is open data files. So in opening data files, this is where you can be able to open files. So if you click on it, you can, for example, go to what Abraham, Nyanja, and the different data that I needed to have. So you can scroll directly to your files and you can be able to open data from this point. And then after that, we have the second icon, which is online sources. This is now the option for, and remember, for you to use this option, you need to have your internet connected. So this is where you can be able to access the geospatial data we stream geospatial data and we can access it into global mapper. So for example, if you wanted to have to extract topo maps and then open topo maps, if you wanted, for example, to have what else? If you wanted to have open street map, which is a commonly used source of data. For example, if you wanted to have the COVID-19 data, if you wanted to have terrain data, you can be able to source all of these data from this point. And you don't have to worry about that because we'll be doing this also in a short while. So that is how you get to open or stream the different sources of data. And then after that, we have configuration. And this is very important. This is where you make the settings and the preference for personalization of figures. So if you select on configuration, we'll be able to see the different tabs. That is the general, the vector, display analysis, the styles, the projection, leader, GPS options, and so all of these functionalities. We will also going to explore this. I'm just taking you through a brief first, then we can go step by step for each of these elements. Then after that, there is something else that is called load default data. So in loading default data, it means you're just loading a sample vector layer that has the whole world. This is the whole world in a single piece. Ideally, this one is of no use. It is just used for practice, and it is going also to give you just a sense of how the workspace looks like. So when we are talking about the workspace, we are talking about as having, for example, you can see the scale at the bottom, and this is the workspace that will be displaying. Remember, I'm just rolling the mouse wheel, and I can be able to zoom and zoom out. So if I wanted, for example, to go to the Mongolian kingdom, I really like the Mongols. I don't know whether we have a Mongol here. I would also want to get a girlfriend from the Mongolian kingdom, the Genghis Khan. Those guys are conquerors, something like that in me. So that is how you get also to zoom through this section. And then the other one is there's something that is called the control center. I will be using a lot of relevance with Civil 3D so that we can connect the two. So the control center is like the tool space that we have in Civil 3D. Remember also this one can be docked or undocked. You can move it from this side to the right hand side and then you proceed with that. So that is basically what you need to know about this. So after you load, for example, we have loaded the default data here. We have loaded the world map. So if I want to unload it, I just control U, press control and U, control and U, control and U, and then you'll be able to remove or unload any data. I'm loading the default data, and once I load the default data or default data, it comes in different themes. So this one will, like you can see, the other one was, I don't know what color that is, but this one is blue, at least I know this color. And then if I wanted to unload, it is Control U. It is the same scenario if, for example, I went to open files and I imported what Abraham had, and probably I have his design here, I can be able to Control U and then unload that specific data. So the note that you need to take about here is the control default data and then the control center, which is used to manage the display of the different layers. So for example, let us load the default data. So the moment I've loaded the default layer, default data, you will see there is something that is called unsaved workspace and countries. So these are basically called layers. And it's basically like the in Civil 3D how we freeze and we freeze and open layers. So if I check that one, you can see the different data has been organized in different layers. Check this out, my guys. And remember, you can be able to extend the control center as well. Okay. So for example, if I check this one, everything, if I uncheck everything, there is no display in the workspace. If I check the countries and check this other one, then the labels are just the text. Remember, the language is the same, like the one we use in Civil 3D. So I can see the countries' labels are gone, and if I check around, they are there. If I want just to have the labels without the countries, then you got it. And these are called layers. So you can see this is layer number one, and this is called the workspace. So these are two layers that I have here, and then this is the workspace. That is how the control center works, my beautiful people. Super easy. These tools are here, they are just used for animation. So when we are talking about recording and whatever animation, you want to move it faster, slower, and add different layers that you want to animate. Super interesting. Thank you very much. So the lessons for the summary is the Global Mapper introductory screen. I hope you're able to know how this looks like. And these ones are called buttons. And the beauty of these buttons is you can be able to hover your cursor on top of it and they will tell you what they are. So for example, this is to connect online data, the one that we used for streaming. So you can just go and stream data or download data from the web. And then you can see the other one is, this is a button. It's called a button. And this button, so we are not talking about panels now, not the one that we have in Civil 3D. We are talking about buttons. So this button, we can be able to select it and it will take us to that specific functionality. I have the other one for navigating the tool space or the workspace there, and I'm going to go directly to that. So I think we are good up to this point. We've been able to know about the menu. Let me take you briefly through the menu and the functionalities and what you can be able to do through that. So the first one is the file menu, and in the file menu, or rather the menus occupy the top space or the space above the maps. So this is what we are calling the menus. And they also provide access to collection of geospatial tools. So if you go to tools, they will give you, if you go to leader, they are going to give you all the tools about leader analysis. If you want to do any terrain analysis, these are all the geospatial tools that you'll need to use for terrain analysis. So I'll go one by one just to make sure that you guys are good. And please don't ignore this. It's fundamental. Because now when I'm going to be recording videos, since you attended this session, I'll be recording the video from a point of someone who is comfortable with the interface. And I remember there was a lady by the name Belinda. I don't know whether Belinda is here. I know you told me there are so many softwares, you don't know where to start. This is where to start. The ultimate user interface tool. Now, let us go to file. So when you go to file, just over your cursor or select on it, we have the option to open. This is where we have the option to open, or what is called importing. So you are able to import data from the different sources. So you can be able to open data files, you can be able to import spatial database, you can be able to open cloud data set, you can be able to open text files and all the different files that you're able to do. Remember also you can be able to unload any data. So for example, if I click on unload, the default data for the world map is gone. If I wanted to do it, I can load it from here as well. And then boom, I got it back. The second one, this is also where we use for saving. So remember, you can be able to save as, that is, you're saving your workspace. And then also for saving, also for exporting. And also remember, when you go to automation and you would want to automate most of your tasks, it will be easy for you also to, this is where you'll be opening the script that you will be using when we automate this data. Remember also you can be able to download imagery data directly from this point. And then most importantly, there is a section where if you want to print the maps that we'll have created, then you can be able to print them from this point, export. And you can see there are different type formats of exporting as well. And then the printing setup. And then after that, we have the recent data that we have. So for example, all these data I've been able to open just right away. Then the second one, the second menu is edit. This one enables us to copy and paste different features. And then you don't have even to worry about this. We will rarely, or we will, it's the same Control V, Control Z, Control C, Control V, Control Z, Control V. So I don't want you even to take your time on that. And then the other menu that we have is called the view. And this is where we know settings for configuring the appearance of the interface and the map. So for example, look here, my guys, look here. And this is very important. So the view controls the appearance or configures the appearance of the interface. And one of them is the tools. So most of you could be asking, where did we get these tools from? It is through the view. So for example, if we select view and they go to toolbars, remember this one, we said we can use this drop down at the end, far end of the toolbar, and then we can be able to know the origin. And in this origin, we can be able to uncheck and remove the buttons. So for example, check this out, my guys. Check this out, check this out. Check, go to files, and I don't want to have open file in it. And you can see the open file has already disappeared. Like, I mean, that button is gone. So that is how you remove the buttons from the toolbar. But for you to remove even the entire toolbar at a go, then you can be able to do it through the view. Then once you go to view, you go to toolbars. Once you go to toolbars, we can say, for example, we can add the GPS. This is the GPS. This is the GPS icon that we've added. And if we wanted to remove it, we'll go to view. Once we go to view, we go to toolbars, and then we just cross with the cursor all the way down to where there is GPS. And you can see the toolbar that was here has disappeared. Let us, for example, remove this other one. This one is what? This one is from GeoCalc. So we go to view, and then once we go to view, we go to toolbars, and then there is the geographic calculation. We can select on that, and you can see it has disappeared. If you wanted to return it again, just go to view, tools, and once we go to tools, GeoCalc. This is a very important tool, especially when you want to declutter your workspace. So most of us probably get overwhelmed and they feel anxious when they have too many tools that are on your workspace. So this means you can just go to view and then go to tools, toolbars, and then only activate. If you're only doing the analysis, you want the analysis. If you're doing digitizer, you only need to have the digitizer. And then you can be able to deactivate all of these others so you can uncheck the rest of the tools. Then the other one is, those are the main, that is the main thing that we get to do in this point. It's basically to manage the tool bars that we have in different sections. So there's also the 3D view, the 2D view, but we're going to look at that. I'm looking at the major functionalities that we need to have. Then after that, we'll go to the tools again. These tools help us to carry out the basic things that or the fundamental things. For example, zoom. So you can see in this case, you can be able to use your mouse to zoom, or you can just come to, where is that zoom? I also forgot. This is it. This is the navigation tools. So if you can select home, this is the home tool. If you want to move to the left or to the right, if you want to zoom it, to zoom in, if you want to zoom out, if you want to pan, you can be able to pan through your workspace, and then also to zoom in specifically for a specific area. Just the same thing we used in Civil 3D. You can select the one with a plus icon, and then you will highlight, or once you select it, you can pick a specific area. So let's say we want to look at Tunisia. We select on this plus icon, the zoom to a specific area, and then go to Tunisia, and it makes it as big as possible, and we can focus to that specific area. Digitizer, this is a very important aspect, and this is where we create vector and editing operations and different polygons, and we will be using this a lot of time. So we'll be creating feature lines or line features, we'll be creating volume features, we'll be creating point and text, we'll be looking about moving different aspects. This is where we will be focusing a lot of energy. For you to do the terrain analysis, the raster analysis, the data, all of this analysis, you must first start with the digitizer. So you're digitizing a certain piece of information and data. And then after you do that, that is when you can do analysis of that specific section. The same concept that we use also in Civil 3D, these menus have been arranged according to the workflows that you need to go through. Then after that, there is analysis. If you're using an older version of uh, if you are using an older version of the global mapper, the analysis has been consolidated. That is, it has consolidated lidar analysis, raster analysis, terrain analysis, and vector analysis. Don't worry about these complex ones, about lidar, raster, terrain, and vector. Once we go back now, once we get down into using them specific, I'll be able to deconstruct them for you to be able to understand. So the analysis, it has the watershed, the contour analysis, lidar analysis, raster calculations, and also we can be able to create the different graph and charts for different sections. So these are just but the tools that we have for lidar, for raster, and for terrain analysis. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed with that information. I want now to go to layers. And in the layers, this is where operations performed on layers are selected on the control center. So for example, we can see, we can be able to create a workspace from this one. We can be able to play around with the layer selected here. So these layers work hand in hand with the layers that we have in the control center. So once you create a layer here, it comes directly to the control center. And this is where you can join attributes, you can be able to create a layer label, you can be able to do a lot of things using the layers, and you'll be able also to explore that functionality. And then of course there is the search function. And this is where is the search function? It is here. This is the search vector, or there is the search functionality here. You can be able to search by name, search and replace. So this one allows us to search different factors or different, how do I say it? The different feature attributes that you may want to use or to search. So since we don't have any feature attributes already loaded here, we may not be able to use this function at the moment. And then after that, of course, there is the GPS. And this is the beauty of it, gentlemen. So you can be able to connect, and for surveyors, you can be able to connect your GPS tracking or your GPS, a compatible GPS instrument, and then you can be able to connect it to your computer. And when you connect it to your computer, you can be able to control it directly here on Global Mapper. So for example, I saw some guys, I remember sometime we were stuck. We went to carry out a topo survey for a project in Marsabit. And the guys who had done the original survey did not necessarily, or rather the benchmarks were lost, or they have been displaced and whatever. And some we could not know where they were because we don't have the guys who are involved in casting them. What did we do? We just used this tool. We connected the GPS to the computer, and then we could be able to track it directly here. And then we can be able to zoom and know, we could tell him, go to the left, go to the right, you're getting close to that, because we had the coordinates for those specific points. So it was easy and well coordinated for us. And then you can be able also to view the sky view and different Like it means you can control the configuration and the interaction between global mapper and the GPS from this point. I hope I remember my guy has a GPS icon. I hope one of these days I'll be able to connect it and you can see where I am, where I'm talking from. Like I can put the GPS icon someplace here in the house and you can be able to trace me. And please don't hurt me when you trace me. And then, of course, every software comes with help, and you can be able to access help should you get stuck at any point. You can use that to access help. So that is basically what I wanted to cover with you guys when it comes to the interface tour, and I hope now you are comfortable with it. Remember, if you don't know what this is about, you can see this is for leader manual classification. It looks like you don't need, you just go to the view, go to tool space, and then you will go to leader manual classification and deactivate it because you don't need it at the moment. So you don't have to wait for your workspace to look too busy when you are not actually using the tools. Thank you very much. It looks like someone is speaking to me. Please take it away and ask me what you have to. Someone wants to speak to me? Okay, I think then that was oh, someone is telling me they're having difficult okay. Captain, I don't know which captain is here with us. I don't know. But that should be straightforward. Wes, take care of that. Take care of that. Take care of that. Take care of that. I don't need to look at those things. Now, let us now go to the next point. And this is very important point that I want us to look at. And this is now about being able to do configuration settings. Configuration and settings. And the objective of this session is to customize the behavior of many aspects of the program. Yes, please.
Oh, ashaenda. Oh, hapo asante. Pole pole. Wacha nakurushie poa.
Aya, ukimaliza kumrushia na mimi unirushie pia, sawa? Aya, asante. So I'm talking about introduction to configuration, and this one I want to go slowly by slowly with you people. I want to go slowly by slowly with you people. Because if you don't get this right, if you don't get this right, we will be in chaos. You will be telling me that your data is in Antarctica. You'll be telling me that you cannot locate the location of your project. You'll be telling me that your project has piers in the ocean. So I want you guys to pay close attention to this one. The objective is we want to customize the behavior of the different aspects of this software. And then we'll take you through the configuration dialog box. And then after that, we'll be able to explore the commonly used settings. That is the map display, unit preferences, and also projections. So let us go. How do we go about this? So the first one is you will find it in the menu, or rather in the toolbar, and you'll find the one that has an icon that looks like a spanner. I don't know whether this is a spanner or what is it called. And this is very, very important. I know there was another space where, yes, you can either view it from the file, and in the file toolbar, you'll see the spanner icon. So if you click on it, you'll have the dialog box for configuration. Let me close it. Please, there's someone who is unmuted and they are, I think they are distracting me. Captains, please take care of that. The second one is you can go to tools, and once you go to tools, you can be able to find the configure. So it's just that icon, the same icon, and it will land us to configuration dialog box. And in the configuration dialog box, I want us to first start going through, hey, gentlemen, there's someone, why don't we just, hey man, this recording will be provided to other people to watch. Please. Please. In the configuration dialog box, we have the first icon, which is the general. So in the general, this is where you set the general settings that are not specific to a certain type of data. So the first one is the general, for example, the background color. So let's say someone would prefer to have their background as, anyway, let me just use a random one. I don't know which one. Let me just use gray and then press OK. So you can be able to select the background color that you want to have. So if you want yours to be dark, you can be able to select it directly from this point. The rest of the icons here, these are just the software settings. I think you don't, anyway, you don't need to change anything else here, because these are the icons, we are going to change them as we proceed with the design. But when you're starting your first draft, just select the whatever, the background color if necessary, and then you can proceed. And then this one, of course, has the export. So these are controls, how we are going to export the different data. And this one also, there is the measure units, and then all of these other icons. So the general is basically for the general settings of the software. So this one is to control the appearance of the interface. This one controls the formats and the bounds. The bounds, it means like the boundary that you're going to export. So you can see the first function is, for example, all loaded data. And then probably you can be able to select only the screen bounds or probably the last exported bounds. And then after that, there is the measurements or the units. I don't want us to look at this for now because we are going to come back to them as well. And then after that, we have the different vector display options. So what would you want to display in this area? So you want, when you're rendering, you want the area, the line, and the points. Because also when it comes to rendering, you're sending a 3D representation of your section. And then there is the rendering material, the labels. These are the different labels or text annotations that you need to have. And then there is also the display option. In the display option is, for example, do you want to have the latitude and longitude? And once you apply that, you can see it has changed my workspace. And you can see there is the display of the different longitude and latitude. If I don't want to have any grid, I just remove that. You can see also my interface has also, or rather my background has already changed. Background color has changed to black. So that is some of the settings that you need to make. Display, in the display, you don't want to change a lot of things here. Then there is the most important one, which is projection, and that is where I want us to spend a little bit of time. And when it comes to projection, let me go to units first, because units come first. So there is the measure units, and this is the most important part. When you go to general, just modify the units of measurement. And when it comes to units of measurement, is you want to, by default, Global Mapper unit uses the metric units. Those are the default units that we have for Global Mapper. So unless you want to modify them according probably to your preference, that is when you can be able to change. Position display format, of course, what this means is, check this out. When we talk of position display format, if I hover my cursor anywhere on the workspace, on the bottom right corner, you will be able to see, and this is what I'm talking about, the bottom where there is Australia. You'll be able to see all of this data that is giving the details of my location. So it is going to give the latitude, the longitude, and the zone I am in, and the data that I'm using at that specific point. So that is what the position display format shows here. And then you can change the units. So for example, if you wanted your unit in, let's say we want to use this in square feet. And then also the volume is, we are going to have the cubic feet. And then after that, there is the distance option. So you can select the distance units that you want. For example, we can use, I don't know, what is it? We can use probably the yard. So I'm trying to change this to imperial. And then after that, I think those are the only settings that you need to modify up to this point. Let's see, bearing. Of course, the bearing options is you would want it to be in degrees, and then the miscellaneous, you don't have to modify these other settings. And then once you do that, you can be able to apply and then press OK. So what happens if you come to this zone? You will see, for example, in the scale, it has changed to miles from kilometers that we previously had. So if I wanted to modify this to metric, I just go to configuration, and then area units, I'm going to say, for example, square kilometers, square meters. This is also depending on the zone or the size of the land that you're working on. And then also, when it comes to volume, I say cubic meters. And then when it comes to distance, I'm going to use metric, that is meters or kilometers. What the software does, it is able to triangulate and convert. If you're using a big zone, it is going, you can see how the scale is changing as I zone out. Or if you're using a smaller zone that you've already selected, it will be able to change that into meters or so. So that is basically configuration. That you need to have. Let us go back again to another important aspect. And I want you to focus on those two only. Measure, that is units. And then after that, I want us to go to projection. And in the GIS world, all data elements, that is both when any source of data, when it is vector, raster, or whatever, are defined by their location. So any GIS data, it must be defined by its location. And then this location is determined based on some type of spatial reference, or what we call in coordinate system. So this location will be determined based on some type of spatial reference system. And this spatial reference system is basically what we're going to call a coordinate system. So what this means is, for you to identify the location of any point, you must know the coordinate system that it lies in. And ideally, this coordinate system, it uses angular measurements relative to the equator and the prime meridian. So the prime meridian and the equator are like the reference points. So anything that is to the left or to the right of the of the prime meridian, then we call that it is either on the east or the west. Anything that is on the upper side or the lower side of the equator, then we have the northern and the southern hemisphere. Where they are crossing, then it means we have the 4 hemispheres. Is it 4 or 4 quadrants or something like that? Then a projected system transforms an area of interest to an artificially flattened place. So what we want to do is, once we do the projection, so we know that we need to have a coordinate system. And we have the UTM coordinate system and the different other coordinate systems that we have. So once we do projection here in the software, we are going to specifically locate that ideal place. So let us go, for example, to the projection. Let us do this practically. So we go to projection. And when it comes to projection, I normally say that number 1, you must be able to know where is your project and which coordinate system are you using. So for example, if you are in Kenya, we know that you're going to use the UTM coordinate system. And once you go to the UTM coordinate system, and this is what we mostly use in road design, and I think we are able to see the different zones that are in the UTM. And therefore, you will go again and locate where is your project. Ideally, you need to know the northings, that is the degrees from the prime meridian of the longitude that is passing close to a project. And then also you need to know the latitude from the equator, something like that. So for example, it means like if we are in Kenya, I remember our zone is somewhere around 36 degrees. Is it 36 degrees or 37 degrees? And then if it is east and it is in the northern hemisphere, 37 degrees, and this is within the range of 36 degrees to 42 degrees. So I would probably select that. And then there is something that is called the datum. The datum is WGS 84, is very, very accurate. But also, again, if you want to add a specific datum of yours, you can be able to select it at this point. And then after that, you select the planner units that you want to use. Of course, in this case, I'm using the I'm going to use meters. And then once I do that, the software is going to give me the parameters that are, or the attribute parameters that are related to the zone that I've been able to select, and then also the datum that I've been able to select at this point. So once I get to do that, I can be able to apply and press OK. What the software does, it is zones or it is zooms to that specific area that you've selected. And then it technically distorts everything. You can see, for example, it has been able to distort the image within this zone and also at the bottom here. And it has also distorted the images at the top. So what this means is ideally that zone is within this area that is a little bit clear. You know, the zone that is clear, that is the zone that I've been able to project in. Let me actually get to do a different zone. Let me unload everything. So Control U, and we'll be able to unload every data. And then after that, I want us to load the default data. So I've just created on load default data. And remember, if you are importing data from outside, for example, from ArcGIS, from Civil 3D, you will already have georeferenced that data from the source. So in such an instance, you will not be required to do projections when you import it in the software. So for example, let me also unload this. So when I wanted to, for example, open this file from my guy here, Abraham Nyaja, and this is what he had done in his design. You can see the parcels of land. You can see where the road is. You can see the surface and all of this information. So ideally, I do not need to go and get to do the projection again, because this was already done previously in this design data. Again, even if also you are importing some geospatial data, you don't need to get to reference it again or to do configuration for that specific point again. So we can go to configuration. Let me just unload this. Control U to unload, and let us load the default data. And once we load the default data, I want us to note the coordinate system at the bottom here, and it is telling us this is at I don't know what is name it is this. It is as WGS. Okay, look here. This is Antarctica. This is Antarctica, indeterminate. That means it's an unknown area type. And then I can be able to see the scale is 1:1242, whatever. The datum is right there, and then it's giving me the coordinates. But I want us now to go and change that one and apply to a different configuration. So I'll just go to configuration, and once I go to configuration, I'll go directly to projection. And once I go to projection, I select on the projection, and I want to change this, for example, to British. Let me say what? Let me say British. Let me go to British grid. Those guys are our colonizers, so I can be able to change them to that. And the moment I get to do that, you can see it has already populated the different parameters. Then apply, and then press OK. I don't know, can you guys see what has happened? Everything has disappeared. So that means there is an aspect that you've put that is very wrong. What this means is you need to first zoom to a specific area. So let's, for example, unload, and then let us load data again. So if we wanted, for example, to zoom to the British island or whatever, the British Isles, for example, in the UK, and you can see also this black background is looking terrible. I know you cannot be able to see. Let me just select this one, apply. Yeah, that is better. So we, for example, want to zoom the UK here. So we zoom to UK for now, and then we go to configuration. And then once we go to configuration, we can go to projection. And then under projection, we can be able to select, for example, we can even actually go to the British UTM. So let us go to British B. And then once I go to the British, I can be able to go to the British grid. And then after that, we can be able to select that and then press OK. And you can see what this has done. It has been able to zoom to exactly the grid that I am here. So you can see the United Kingdom has been zoomed to this specific area, and it has distorted the images on this other zone. Let us say, for example, say we want to change these to, for example, Japan. So I just go to configuration, and then I click J, and then I will go to the Japanese projection system. And then once I do that, apply, and then press OK. And you can see it has zoomed us directly to where we have in Indonesia. And if I wanted to make this better, probably, look that. Can you see that? So I can be able also to pan, and you can see it has distorted everything else that is outside the Japanese projection system. So that is why configuration is very important. If you configure in the different or in a different zone away from what you are currently using, or if you georeference your project in the wrong format, then it means you are not going to get the right results. So the projections are applicable. The projections are applicable in the selected area, and the display becomes increasingly distorted as you pan to other parts. And I think you can be able to see that clearly here. Look at how these other parts are becoming very distorted. It means that the projection has been centered to take care of only the Japanese section. You will also note that the coordinate system at the bottom here have been updated. So you'll be able to see the scale. And then after the scale, you'll be able to see the coordinate system as being Japan. And it will give you the datum that you have. And then it will give you the coordinates. That is the easting or whatever. Eastings and northings, depending on where your cursor is. So these are very, very, very fundamental settings that you need to understand. You cannot go on to do the design unless you cannot go on to extract data, to stream data, unless you are able to know these configuration settings. And for you, for example, you get to put any zone according to your country. And this is where I ask of you, go and invest in understanding the zone that you have for your different countries, for areas that you have your project. So if you have your project in a certain zone, you need to know what is my zone. What is the location of this? How can I interpret this in terms of coordinate systems? That is very, very important for us. So the next thing that I want to look at is importing data. I'll be taking, of course, questions at the end of this one. So worry not. I want to just make sure at least we have been able to finish up. And just before we import data, I have remembered that I have not given you the option of setting the default. And in setting the default projection, it means that, for example, you are very certain that you are working within a specific zone. So, for example, if you're working in a country that just has one zone, if you're working in a country that has one zone, then you can just say use this specific zone, and then you can be able to set it. So, for example, you can set it to be the UTM zone, and then you can be able to select this, say 36 degrees south, the datum, the meters, and whatever, then apply, and then press OK. When it comes to setting the default zone, it means that every data that you're going to import will be using that specific zone that you've already applied for that case. So that is the differentiator that we have. So if you want to use a specific zone that you're going to use for different projects, then you can set it as a default. Over and above that, I'm going to briefly talk about loading or importing data. And just before I import data, I want, for example, to show you guys how you export data that can be used in this design from Civil 3D. And for example, I'm going to use, I don't know, let me see whose project is open. Whatever project that will be open here is what we're going to export. Because sometimes you want to have data from your design, then you can be able to import it into this other software, and then you can be able to visualize it and such. So for example, I know Sandra is here, so I can be able to use a design. I saw you in the session. I hope you're still here with us, and then this will be a good one. And we said the first thing that we need to do is whether this one was your reference correctly, and you can see that was done. So if this was done, then that is super. So how do I export this to a format that can be important in other GIS softwares and GIS environment? So what I need to do is I go to output, and once I go to output, that is not the home ribbon, it is the output ribbon. And once I go to output ribbon, remember you can be able to export this data in different formats. So for example, you can export this to HEC RAS software. This is for river analysis system and also for catchment analysis. Actually, you can be able to use these to export your design from Civil 3D to this one. You can also be able to transfer point, export points, and then export this one to geodatabase. And this is one of the good ones. So you can just export it to a format that can be used in ArcGIS. So select export it to FGDB. And then when it comes to these, this is called a diagram tree or data tree rather. And this one, it selects the viable data that you can be able to export. So for example, in this case, we'll be able to export the point groups. We'll be able to export the offset alignments, and also we'll be able to export the different alignments. So you can just check it as alignments. And then after that, we can be able to export parcels. That's already correct. Hey, these are already selected. And if you want pipe networks, if you want whatever data you want to export. So you can be able to export it from this point and then press OK. And then after that, for example, I will call these Sandra data. So I just save, and then it will be able to export this data to that point. So this is data that you can be able to export to ArcGIS. Remember also, this is a format that is accepted by Civil 3D. And also this is also accepted by Global Mapper. The other one is this one, the SDF, where you can also transport this to spatial data format. And this one is now acceptable in Autodesk Map 3D, Map Guide Enterprises, and you select it, and then you can be able now. Remember also when you're exporting this as a spatial data format, it means that you need to allocate the georeferencing. This is just a confirmation that the georeferencing that we had done previously is the right one. So once we do that, we can just press OK, and then that will be done. That will be good. And then also remember, you can be able to export these to 3ds Max and 3ds Max. That is for rendering and visualization. You can also be able to export this to Storm Sewers. You can also be able to publish directly to ArcGIS from this one. And yeah, there are quite a number. You can also be able to export these as a land XML. You can be able to export these as a land XML. So just go to Prospector, select the name of the drawing, right click, and then export this as a land XML, and then you'll be able good to go as well. So these are the different formats that you can be able to export your design in, and yeah, you'll be good enough. You'll be good enough to go. You'll be good enough to go. So let us say, for example, now that we've already been able to export these as a special data, how can we be able to import it? And that is the first point when it comes to importing data. And this is also what we'll be using. Because ideally what we want to do is we want to import data probably from our design and then overlap it into a GIS environment. We can import Civil 3D points and then we manipulate them, import contours, and then to enrich our data sources. We can also be able to go to this global mapper create contours, and then once we create those contours, we can come and superimpose them on our design in Civil 3D. And that is the beauty of this. So let's go to open data files. And for example, I don't know where was Sandra. I could not see her. And you can see this one is an entire data file. This is an entire data file here that we have for Sandra. But remember also we end this one from Abraham. So you can just select on Abraham and then get also to open. So that is how you get to import data from a probable from Civil 3D and whatever data that is. So what it does is it has imported the surface as it is. It has come with all the contours. It has even come with all these labels. And the beauty of it, this one has been classified as a layer here. So if you don't want to display that data, you can be able to export or to remove it directly or uncheck it from this list. And then check it. If you want to unload, Control U, and then you'll be gone. Let us also, for example, open another different type of data. And this is where now I want you guys to take keen attention. Let me go to let me go to number one. These are the options that we want to look at. Remember, we can be able to import even elevations, point cloud data, survey data, that is survey points. And I want also, we can be able to stream data through the connect to online data tool. And we can be able to also import terrain and different types of data. Actually, Global Mapper supports 300 types of data. And when it comes to importing, you can use these open data files in the screen here, or you can go to File and then to File in the menu bar and then open data files. And once you open data files, it will take you to a repository, for example, where you have your data. And in this case, for example, I want us to use this specific data type that I have provided for you. And I want us to go to the topographic map, and then we can be able to import this topo map. So let me repeat this. You can use open data files, and then it will take us directly to a repository that we have in your computer. And then it will take us to black topo map. So we are importing a topographic map. So select on the topographic map, open. Let me zoom. I don't know where it is. So the idea is, and this is now the difference, the other difference. You can see our default was set to 36 north. This is basically in Kenya. And the data that we have imported is ideally not within this zone. So what happens is you will get a blank screen. This is very important. So you will go back again to projections, and you can see we had activated the default. So we don't want to use that default again. So we make sure that is unchecked. And then in the projections, we can use something that is called orthographic. So orthographic is the one that is capturing just the entire world. So once it captures that, you can see now at least we have, you see, when we change this topo map, we already have a topo map that is here with us at this point. So this is how this topo map looks like. Terrible as it is, but you're going to work with it slowly by slowly by slowly. If you wanted to uncheck it, you just uncheck it and it will not be displayed. Remember, you can be able to import different type of data in the same workspace and load on top of that data. So for example, we go to file again, open data source. Now, instead of having this, we can go to terrain and we want to import the terrain data for this section and then press open. And look at this one, this is it. So what this is telling us is something is not right. This is what it's telling us. Something is not right because this one cannot be looking as it is at the moment. And ideally, if you look at this scale, it looks like the scale is too small, like it's in 2 kilometers, and therefore our data is not right at this specific point. So what we can do is we can undo again and then go and look what units are we using. I'll go again to general, and then we go under general, we go to measurement units, and it looks like we can be able to use this one is good. This one is good. So we look at something else that we could have mistaken. Apply, and then press OK. And then I go again to configuration, just to make sure that the data is right. And this is where now we were talking about if you don't select these units appropriately. So let us use area in kilometers, and then we can say cubic meters there, and then we can say distance, yes, in metric, apply, then press OK. Let us go to open data files and then mountain. Yep. So you can see that when you use smaller units, that or rather when you use 2 small units, for example, specifically for area, you will find that your data will be distorted. So depending on the size of the section that you have, it is important for you to consider using a larger scale or units of measurement. And you can see that was the biggest problem. When you used a smaller scale or smaller units of measurement, our data was compressed into a small source. So let us continue and import the other one and load it in the same workspace. So open data. So for example, that was for terrain. Let's go to parcels of land. And when it comes to parcels, where is the shape file? We can just use this one yes, the shape file here. This is also from AutoCAD, open. And you can see this one has been overlapped directly on top of the terrain that we had. So this means that we had imported a terrain, or we had extracted a terrain model. And then on top of that terrain model, we are able to overlap or overlay these parcels of land from an AutoCAD design. So then after that, we can be able to, for example, let's see something else that we can be able to add, open files. And then once we go to that, I don't know whether we added terrain. Did we add terrain? Oh yeah, this is already existing. We can be able to add another file format. No, I don't want to do that at this point. The parcels are there, and then the topographic map. Let us see what happens. Oh, God, you see that? So we have also been able to overlay the topographic map. So this gives us a very rich data source. And then as we proceed, we'll be looking at how do we now leverage these data sources to make a better decision. Now, look at this one, and I want you to enjoy these guys. This is now how you load existing data And then you can be able actually to export this data as it is now and transfer it to Civil 3D. What this allows us is we are able to make decisions in real time. These are parcels of land as they are on that specific area. You see, like this is leveraging the GIS data sources for the different things that we can be able to do. And then the next thing will be, for example, we would want to access online data. And I think also we can be able to pick from that point next time because we will be overwhelming you guys with a lot of information. So what I will ask of you guys is I would want you to go and start and do the following. The first one is to interact with the interface and make sure that you are very conversant with it and you are very good with it. You are comfortable using the interface. And then after using the interface, you can be able to do configuration. And once you go the configuration, you can also be able to manage projection. So updating the units of measurement, you need to apply that. And in applying the units of measurement, I want you to play around with it just like I did here with you. It is only when you make such changes, you see how is this behaving. You can be able to understand how they intuitively it responds to different configurations that you may be able to do in your software. And then after being able to apply the units of measurements, you can be able now to go and manage projections. When it comes to managing projections, my homework has always been go and read and understand the different coordinate systems that you have. Specifically, you always charity starts at home. You can be able to know the coordinate systems that you have in your country. That is very, very, very important. And then after you get to manage projections, then you can be able to now import the data. The data that I've given you, please import it because I want to use it for these course as we proceed with you. And that means now from next time, I will start from here so that now we can extract online maps for this very specific project. So someone is going to ask me, so after we project, do we just leave it at that point? I will be saying no. What you need to do is you just go to file. And once you go to file, I want you to save as a workspace. And then as a workspace, just call it Global Mapper Training Trial 1, or rather Global Mapper Training with RONSAP. And that is what is called saving a workspace so that we can be able to import it next time. And once you've done that, you can see that it has already been populated here in the control center. So this is the control center, and this is also the scale for elevations. So you can see the smallest elevations we have is 672, and the highest elevations we have is 1286 for this specific zone. Once you are able to save this, then you can be able even to close it. You can be able to close this design, and then we can be able to pick up from that point next time we pick it up. I think that is it. I think that has been too much. I hope that I will be slow with you guys next time. I hope that has not been too much with you. Thank you. The sample data has been shared already here. I don't want you also guys to overthink about this. I want you just to go and do it. I'll send this recording to you so that you can probably be able to follow through if that is not too much to ask of you. And then it is only from that point, by the next time we'll be joining for the session, I'll be here responding to questions. I'll be able to respond to all of the questions that I have. You have, and then I will be responding to one by one, 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 one by one. I have also seen most of you are asking the different types of data. Someone wants to know what is leader, someone wants to know what is factor, someone wants to know this one. I am going to give that to you as well. For those of you who are saying that they're having a challenge accessing the data, I think I've already given that one as a free, I've given it as a free, like anyone can be able to access it, download it directly from my Google Drive. Like, I mean, guys, you guys, I'm here with it, and I've said anyone that has this link is an editor. So it means you can be able to access it. What do you mean you cannot be able to see it, my guys? No, you can be able to see it. Yeah. So that is it, my beautiful people. Please send the sample data again, Kanza. My people are struggling, but let me send it. Let me send it myself, Kanza. Don't worry. I have sent it here, my people. That is it. Ah, super. Thank you.
Someone cut the data the first instant you sent.
Oh,
They did
someone
not
cut
copy.
it.
Yes. So they can just
Hey,
download the data and leave it.
please download, not cut. Allow others also to enjoy the same resources. And don't delete anything from that folder. I think also that has been a habit that I've seen in a lot of our communities. Once you access it, you just do away with it. You don't want others. Okay, I'm going to upload them right away. Please, when you go there, my guys, don't take it for everyone. Hey, leave it for your brothers.
Yeah,
Leave it
because
for your brothers.
I'm also trying to download it, but the folder is empty.
Yeah, I can see it is empty.
Yeah.
Hey, this one is now telling me it is going to take 1 hour 54 minutes to upload. Anyway, 4 minutes left. 3 minutes left. Okay. Sawa. Please, once you go there, just download, my brothers. Just download. Don't cut. Yeah, just download. Just download. I'm uploading that, Belinda. I'm uploading it. And I am asking you guys, don't be anxious. I'm going to take you through this slowly, slowly, by slowly. I wanted to rush today so that at least we can be somewhere. And then by next week on Monday, you will have worked at least to where we are. You will have faced a few challenges. Sorry. You will have faced a few challenges, and then from the challenges, I can be able to help you guys. Thank you very much. And then again, we have the Civil 3D training that is happening in November. So we are banking on you guys to refer people to our community because also we want them to learn. If you benefited, if you learned a new thing and you can see you are already learning, wouldn't it be nice if you helped your brother and your sister, your colleague, to learn as well? It would be really awesome. It would be really, really, really fantastic. So just help others so that they can be able to learn. Help others so that they can be able to grow like you're growing. The recording for this one shall be shared in this group. And I will also, I hope tomorrow tomorrow is going to be a very busy day for me. I have some projects that I'm spearheading. But I'm praying to God that I will get some time to upload this uh, this course on our website, so that also you people can be able to access the recording there. But in the meantime, I'm going to send the recording here. Let me send it to you guys. Let me send, or I just upload it to our YouTube channel. I just upload it to your YouTube channel. It will be easier to have it there. And then I'll send it in this group, in this channel that we have here. So thank you very much. That is it from me. I hope you're going also to make good use of these resources. I'm going to guide you. The group is here. The link has been shared here, my brother, Salim. And you can be able just to join directly. Please